So what we're going to do is we're going to show you guys some reports, just case studies of digital ads that we've been running and controlling, and show you some KPIs with your digital ads that you should be looking at that are really important. And then we're going to open up to some Q&A for you guys really to ask Stacie. But real quickly, Levi earlier mentioned that he brought Stacie on. If you guys were here last year, you remember Stacie, and we talked through different best practices for digital ads, and she was running really your first car wash ads for leading up to the summit, because we wanted to have some, just run some ideas that Levi and Jeremy and I had been talking about of, hey, let's do this where, let's see what this call to action would do, and maybe using this kind of image or this picture. And so we kind of went through last year more about here's what your ad should look like that will get good traction and different things. This year we really want to talk about what in those ads you should be looking at, what really matters, because there's a lot of vanity numbers that you called them, where people will run ads, or you're working with a marketing agency or something like that, and they'll say, well, look at this and look at this, and some of that doesn't really matter, because you can't take some of that stuff to the bank and see an ROI on those things. But I want to talk through, and we're going to show a couple of reports here. But now that you've been doing this and Stacie has no idea where some of the questions that I'm going to ask her, so you're going to get very candid responses from her. But after you've been doing this for over a year, but really a ton of car washes now. I mean, how many car washes are we doing digital ads for right now?
72.
Oh, sorry. Say it again.
72.
72.
Not a girl.
I'll figure it out. So 72. So in the last year, you've gone from doing like 3 different car washes to now your team is running ads for 72 different businesses. What's one or two of the biggest things that you have seen in this space as far as best practices with car washes, or something that would be of value to them that you've learned?
Is this on now?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, the biggest thing that I see is that lots of people are sometimes running digital ads but have zero tracking when it comes to those digital ads. That even if you have a call to action, even if you're trying to gain phone numbers from your ads, there's no back-end tracking set up. So you're relying on Google or you're relying on Facebook to tell you the numbers, but Google and Facebook, they lie a little bit.
And why do they lie?
They want more money from you.
Yes.
So they will give you the numbers. They will say, your ads are doing great, you just need to spend more money, but they're not actually tracking all of the actions that matter to you.
Okay.
So if you don't have tracking code on your website, if you don't have something that is paying attention to not just only how many people has this ad been shown to, how many people clicked on that ad, how many people landed on the landing page that you asked them to go to, how many people then put in their phone numbers, if you're not tracking all of those things, you're wasting money.
So what are you seeing as far as, on average, you've been doing meta ads and digital ads for a long time, not just in the car wash space, and that's really how we found you, was one of your clients. So on average in the industry, and maybe it's the car wash industry or just what you've been doing, what are some of the metrics that people tend to track, and what kind of return do people see on those as far as, I can't think of the word that, like the click-through rate or the cost per lead or whatever.
Impressions, usually. So not at OptSpot, but with other companies, lots of times you're getting told how many impressions you got, the click-through rate, but also the cost per click, which are all great things that your marketing company or somebody who's running your ads should be paying attention to, but they're not the things that actually make revenue. They're not the things that move the needle. So
explain why that is, because those are the numbers that we hear, and I think it's probably because those are the most inflated numbers or easiest numbers to get.
Yeah, it's real easy for Facebook with impressions. It's just how many people did they put your ad in front of. They can put it in front of millions and millions of people, but if those people aren't the ones that are actually going to take action on your business, it doesn't matter to you. So that's why we call them vanity metrics, because something like likes or clicks or impressions are all great. It's helpful for me as a marketing person to know if the ad is doing what it's supposed to be doing and it's healthy, but for your business, impressions don't matter. I don't care how many likes you get on a post if you didn't actually get any business out of it.
And what is it that we normally say? You can't take what?
Likes to the bank.
Yeah, you can't. They don't cash those anymore.
Don't cash them.
So I want to run through a few numbers, and I want you, if you can see them, I want you to kind of explain these are reports that you give, that you send to our customers that are doing digital ads with you. You send these at the end of every month, and kind of explain what these are and why these are important to pay attention to. So this is, I'm going to see if I can make this bigger for you. So this is Rain Car Wash. And we got permission from everybody here to show these things, but this is Rain Car Wash. These are, so to give some context, these are the numbers that you get, but you send them what the averages in the industry are. What's tell us what the averages are first.
Okay, so, well.
That's so small.
Yeah. Oh, and now
you got rid of it. Now I just messed it up.
Okay, so one of the things that I pay attention to is, or one of the biggest things for me is we're talking about phone numbers and getting phone numbers into your text messaging funnel. Social media is a really great way to fill your funnel. So we look at it as that top of funnel filler. How do we get more numbers into that text messaging funnel? Now, so I pay attention to how much did we spend for each one of those phone numbers, because we know that the phone numbers have value to your business. So what did we have to pay to get those phone numbers? Now, one of my favorite numbers is that now that I've been working with quite a few car washes, and many have come over from other companies or running the ads themselves, they're usually getting these phone numbers at about $6 to $8 a phone number. So they pay $6, they got one phone number back, it's probably worth about $12, $15 to their business. So they're getting a return on ad spend. At OptSpot, we're seeing these numbers at, across the board, like $1.20 is our average. So
this one right here with Rain Car Wash, you've got
94?
cost per phone number is $94. I mean
94
cents.
Have that.
Is that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 94 cents is what those phone numbers are coming in at. So we know we are well below the industry average of, let's say, $7 for these phone numbers.
And then we've got the percent redeem. So obviously that's the people that have come through and actually use that coupon.
Exactly. And on social media, the average for social media ads on redemption is between 20 and 30%, which I tell people is normal because these people are they're sitting on their couch at midnight when they put their phone number in for a free wash, or they're at the doctor's office, they're in car rider line. They're not actively at that moment looking for a car wash. So 20 to 30% redemption rate is normal for social media ads.
And then you've got the return on ad spend is at $11,400 out of, I mean, I would trade $897 for $11,000 any day. But that's based on a $12 lead, which is really on the lowest end of how we calculate leads. Like $12 is usually pretty low.
Yeah.
I mean, they can be anywhere up to $32 per lead. So their ROI is probably even more than that.
Yeah, and I do that on purpose. I use the lowest number because your ads are not actually asking for a purchase when we're running the free wash ads. So I can't tell you got this exact number of return dollars for your ads, but we know the phone numbers are worth between, let's say, $12 and $25. I like to use that low number so that we're not inflating any numbers, because marketing companies across the board like to inflate their numbers, and they like things to look better, and I want to make sure that we're never one of those, that we're giving you kind of the low estimate when it comes to your return value on ad spend.
So then we've got the Google ads, and the Google ads look a little bit different. Do Google ads tend to cost more than Facebook ads?
They do, and they're a completely different beast. I hate to compare them. Facebook and Instagram ads are completely different than Google ads because we're asking for something different. In Facebook, it's a really, I call it like a tight funnel, a leak-proof funnel, where it's a free wash ad. There is a free wash or a get offer button. They end up on a free wash landing page, and they either put in their phone number or don't. That's the end. With Google, it's very different. Google are responsive ads. They have to take a first action, often like putting in car wash near me. And we want to make sure that we're giving them what they were looking for. So we don't want them to click on a website link, I'm looking at you, Richard, and end up on the wrong page. So we want them to click on a website link and end up on your website. We want them to click the hours link and see your hours. So we're not just asking for that phone number. We're giving them what they want in response so that we don't have a high bounce rate, we don't lose people, we don't make people angry. We are collecting those phone numbers, but one of the goals with Google Ads is to be at the top percentage of search results so that when someone puts in car wash near me, I want your car wash to be that top result, if not that top 4, so they don't have to scroll to see you. So
Yeah.
the goal on Google is a little different than the goal in Facebook and Instagram.
And so SEO is a big word, and a lot of people, when we talk websites with people, one of the biggest questions they ask is SEO. And I'm going to be very honest about SEO and my personal feelings about that, because you kind of solve a lot of that issue with these ads, because that does help you go up to the top. And a lot of times when we see Google ads, we ignore those ads because we know it's a promotion. But when it's an industry like a car wash, you want that to be up at the top, because you want people to see that up there and your Google My Business and that kind of stuff. When it comes to SEO, SEO stands for search engine optimization. And SEO was really, one, it's a long game, but it was really a big deal a few years ago. Google was giving people, they were rewarding businesses for having keywords in their website that would help them be found, and Google would know what your website is about based on the keywords that you use. Now there's a new thing, and Google has really started this, called human engine optimization. So rather than search engine optimization, it's human engine optimization, which means Google now punishes your website for filling it up with a bunch of keywords to get ranked. They want your website to be written for humans, because Google has customers. And their customers are the people that use their search domain to search for something, and they want to be able to give them the results to answer the question that they searched for in Google. If Google can't do that, people will stop using Google to do their searches. And so Google needs to know what your website is about. The best way to do that is by answering your customers' questions on your website, writing your website, and that's what we do. That's what Chelsea does. When we bring on Chelsea and any other designers that we have, because Chelsea's building literally 15 websites right now, so she's going to need some help soon, we make them read the Building a Story Brand book, go through the Story Brand courses, and learn that framework, because it's all about engaging with your customer in a way that they understand why your business fits into their life. So that's what we do, and that's how we solve the SEO problem. And then what you're doing here with Google Ads is really helping them get right up there to the top without having to, there's a lot of marketing agencies that make a whole lot of money by scaring businesses about SEO. Don't buy into the crap. Write your website for your customers, and it will take care of itself. So I want to talk through these numbers really quick. We've got the amount spent. We've got the cost per click. Tell us about that.
Yeah, cost per click, again, is kind of one of those numbers that's more for me. It's to tell me whether or not this is a healthy ad. It also tells me if there's competition in your area. I like to see that number at around $1.50, but there are some car washes, it might be $3. It might be a lot less. And that tells us how much competition is in your immediate area. But it's also, that's kind of one of those numbers that marketing companies lean into a lot, like, oh, we're getting you clicks at 20 cents. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're good clicks. Mm-hmm. They could be, Google has a lot of bot clicks. So just because you have a low cost per click does not mean that your ads are doing what you need them to do. You need all of that tracking on the back end to make sure that your ads are doing what they need to do. But that's a number that people like to see. I have it on there. It's also something for me that tells me whether or not this ad is healthy.
So these are pretty phenomenal numbers. You have less than $1 per lead on Meta. You've got $1.01 on Google Ads, and we've got a couple more. These are this one is Halo Car Wash, and they've got 36 cents a lead, which is just ridiculous, and $0 for Google Ads.
Zero. That actually is because we're not currently running Halo's Google Ads.
Pretty amazing.
We're working on it.
That's awesome. The ROI on that is incredible.
Yeah.
So these are great numbers with Halo, and then you've got H2Go here, 27 cents a lead. And I mean, Ryan, you're spending $300 and getting $13,000 back, so that's a pretty good trade, and probably more, because we actually know that your average cost per lead is a lot more than $12, because you have a great average monthly member and lifetime value for your customers, and so you're getting obviously way more than that. So this is incredible. 32 cents cost per click on Google. Any of these other metrics that we need to discuss.
No, yeah, and right next to that cost per click, that percentage, that top percentage of search results, that's something that I pay very close attention to. I like to have it between 80 and 90% to make sure that you are coming up 80 to 90% of the time. You're coming up at the top of the search results. I think we're at like 74 here.
This one is 63%.
63, which is another important point is that I wanted to say about Facebook, a difference between Facebook and Google. Facebook, right, or Facebook, Meta, Instagram, all of the things, right out of the gate, we get really great results from Facebook. And then it will start to level off into what I call a happy place where we can kind of count on it. Okay, we know now, you might have been getting 30-cent leads in the beginning, but it will level off at about 80 cents, let's say. Then we know that our lead cost is 80 cents, and we can kind of play around with things and test different things and get creative and see what we can do there because we know we have a cost per lead. Google is the opposite. So Google, when you start, it takes a couple weeks for it to really figure out what it's doing. And that percentage of top search results, it might start at like a 60%, 70%, and that creeps up over time once Google realizes that we know what we're doing, and they will put us at the top more often.
And this is Choo Choo Express, and Choo Choo, I put Choo Choo in here. We did their website, and they're a small location. And Billy, I mean, if you guys know, most of you probably don't know Billy, he's in Chattanooga, but Billy's just this good old boy car wash guy that just loves his community, but he has no idea what to do with the technology stuff, and so he's really leaned on you, and you've been able to get him just some incredible results with his Google Ads, because he wouldn't even know where to start with this stuff, and you've been able to get some really great results, and he's trading $300 for $6,100 right now on these leads, which is probably really more than that. He's got one location in Chattanooga and has a lot of competition. In fact, he called me, I love his, he called me a couple of weeks ago, and he said, I didn't want to deal with this the wrong way, and I just needed to vent and get some advice. And I've got a competitor that's across the street that is taking their sign and standing not on our property, but right in front of our property and trying to push everybody over to his wash. I mean, that's how close he is. And he said, that really makes me bad, but I want to do the right thing, and I want to be, and Billy, and so I gave Billy my advice, and I said, Billy, you're an OptSpotter. And I literally said that because Levi and I, we were having this conversation about our manifesto. And I said, you're an OptSpotter, and one of our things in our manifesto is we do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And I said, here's what I would do. I would take the high road. I wouldn't say anywhere. If that's the way that company wants to do business, they got to deal with that. The Lord will take care of them. And so I said, but here's what I would do. I would make sure, this is every single reason why you need to do everything that you can to collect the phone numbers of the people that are showing up. And then you send them a message that lets them know that they're welcome to come and get their free wash and do a flash sale and communicate with those people. I said, I guarantee you, I didn't recognize the name of the car wash when he told me. I said, I guarantee you they're not collecting the data because they were not giving, there was not a free wash sign, there was not anything. It was just a sign saying our car wash is over here. So I guarantee you they're not collecting the data. You're not going to win by going over there and fussing at them and letting them know that they got under your skin. You're going to win by collecting the data. And that was right before he called you to start doing these Facebook ads, and he's all in. Yeah. And he's crushing it. He's killing it, and you're giving him great leads. So there was a wash that we were working with, and we run into this every now and then, and we've hidden the name. But, they came to Levi and asked about digital ads and running digital ads, and we're not going to say the name or who it was because you guys will know who it is, but they have a marketing team, and they were working with you to do the Google ads, and you were getting them really great results. The guy was singing your praises. And then we found out their team decided, we got a guy on our team that thinks that he could do digital ads himself. And so they took it over themselves. And I want you to see if you guys know could tell when they took over their ads. The marketing took over. But they also tried to set up a call with you to ask you how you were running ads. So what's better is to just let you do it and take care of it. Digital ads is hard. I mean, Levi, why did we were trying to do this? and we started consulting with Stacie. Why?
Well, I was trying to be the how, trying to figure it out. And I'm pretty techie. I feel like I'm pretty into technology and figured out. So I started watching YouTube videos and videos on how to run social media and ads and everything. And I just went down that rabbit hole for a while. And I was like, okay, this is like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something like that. And just found out, man, this is not easy. Like this is a whole nother ballgame, and it moves. It's a moving target. Mm-hmm. So as they're changing algorithms, as they're changing things up and not telling anybody, you're just wasting a bunch of money.
Wait, my favorite part is that they tell you it's easy. Facebook and Instagram and Google will lie to you. Here's a smart campaign. Just put your website in here and we'll do the rest.
Because they know if they can get people like Levi to go in and do it, they'll spend a whole bunch of money and keep spending it thinking they've got to keep feeding this monster.
Well, and what's interesting is they're telling him that, and you think you're doing really well, and it really wasn't until even working with Stacie. Again, she was a referral, and I just had this call with her, and I hired her, and we paid for you for a customer, because I'm like, I just got to, like, what's going on here? Like, what's really happening? And so for like 3 or 4 months before the summit last year, we're just like, Stacie, go on. Like, I need to trust you. I don't trust anything else. Tell us what's going on here, and really peel the onion back and see what's really happening here. And can this work for our customers? I don't want to tell you guys to go do something if it's not going to work. Like if we're going to promote, hey, go do digital, blah, 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 but if it's not going to work and you're going to waste your money, I'm not going to tell you to do it. I don't know if you listened to our podcast last time. It's on the 80-20 rule, right? Like, do the 20% of things that are really working, take 80% of your money, put it into there, and crush it. That's what we're doing with digital ads. Like, this actually works, but it took time, and obviously Stacie had her own company, doing her thing, working for multiple different, verticals, obviously not car washes at all. And so now, after learning everything you did for the other clients, coming into the car wash space, she's like, Levi, are you telling me that like this is a free wash and I can do this, this, and this? I'm like, yeah, like this is what we can do, and this is going to be the value of the lead. And she was like, okay, I think I can get behind this. So peeling that onion back, we're like, wow, this is insane. And then when she was comparing to some of our other customers that were doing this, I was like, they thought they were winning, they weren't winning. And so now to see, obviously, look at this screen right here. This is what happens. There's another customer, I'm not going to name their name right now, but it's been months that they have their own. There's some digital marketers in here. I know, because I know Heather and I know some other people in here that are marketing directors or whatnot for your companies. But man, if you don't specialize in this stuff, you've probably tried it yourself and you're trying to stay on top of it. It is not an easy thing to do. And so that's why bringing her on, we've just been like, hey, it's making money and it's working. It's not easy.
And to be honest, we enjoy working with marketing directors, marketing coordinators, because our job is to make your job easier and to help you bring more value to the business that you're at and that you work with. And so,
but we also help.
With the preposition,
like we'll help. Like if you guys had a question for Stacie, you're our paying customer, and you said, hey, we have a question on this. We're not going to. I mean, I've set Stacie up with several. Consultation calls with marketing directors to say, hey, I'll answer some questions. And so we're not going to get super far into the weeds on it, but, we're also, she helps them out, and then they realize they go down the path and figure out it's not worth it.
Yeah, but those phone calls are fun because I get to dig into what might not be going right in your ads, and usually they're like, no, just do it.
I'm on an email thread with you right now, and it's like with a customer, and it's like, hey, have you done this? Oh, no, I don't know I was supposed to do that. Have you done this? No. What about this pixel tracking? What about this? And I'm kind of in the background learning too, and just kind of still trying to stay out of it, but I do like to kind of know what happens, and I'm just blown away by your ability to kind of pull back and say, hey, you're kind of you're missing the boat here, is what they're doing.
What are a couple of things that you see when you consult with washes about their ads? What are some of the things that you see that they're either haven't done or not doing correctly?
Tracking.
Pixel.
Having Google Analytics set up so that you're tracking stuff in Google. You have a Meta Pixel so that you're tracking things on Meta. You can't retarget people if you don't have tracking.
Explain what retarget is.
Retargeting is if somebody interacts with your Facebook or Instagram page, if they have clicked on your ad or they landed on your website and they didn't give us a piece of their information, we can get back in front of, actually even if they did give us a piece of their information, any interaction they have with your website or your ad or your Facebook or your Instagram profile, we can get back in front of them because Facebook tracks it.
And it's possible to put a different type of ad in front of people that have already given you their data for a
Absolutely.
free wash. So
Yeah.
maybe we want to put something in front of them that does give them a big promotion, but that's after they've engaged and given us their info for the free wash.
Exactly. Yep. And if they interact with our Google ad, if they go to your website, we want to then be able to cross-platform market so that our Facebook ad then shows up in front of them the next day. So, and you can't do that if you don't have your tracking set up. And yep, most of the people who come to us do not have any tracking set up.
What about, and this is a little bit outside of my wheelhouse, but we were having lunch with a wash here in town, and one of the things that frustrated him, now he doesn't do any marketing, he wasn't even a customer of ours yet, but there was a competitor down the road from him, and he said anytime that I would drive by his wash, and it was close enough to my wash that I was even by his wash, I would see his ads. But I was working with another marketing agency, and I never saw my ads. Why is that?
It could
Why?
be a bunch of different reasons, but what we do like to
Because
do
I need
is,
to give him an answer.
yeah, well, geo-targeting. You can tell them that it's either geo-targeting or it's also ads budget. So what we do when we target, we take a radius around your wash, and we want to hit all of the people who have been in that area, not necessarily lived in that area, but been through that area in the last 7 days, so that they're seeing your ads. The other thing is it might be a budget thing, that lots of times if you're not seeing your actual ad spend, if you're paying somebody for ads and they're saying, yes, we're going to take $300 and we promise we're spending a lot of it on ads, if they're only spending a couple dollars a day on ads, those ads are not going to show up in front of people. So another important thing that we do at OptSpot is we make sure that your ad spend is a completely separate budget from your OptSpot payment, so that you know exactly how many dollars are going to your ads, because it could be that they're advertising but they just don't have enough budget behind it that it's showing up for them.
So it's what the quote that Jeremy read earlier, he who spends the most wins.
Yep.
And so it's
Definitely on ads.
and it's spending it in the right place.
Right.
And targeting the right people. Because I was speaking with one of our customers who hadn't done digital ads with us, and I don't think he's done it yet. And he told me that I asked him what his Facebook leads were doing, and he said, well, it's about $5 a lead, which is still under that $7 a lead. But I'm like, I just told him, I was like, I mean, Stacie has figured out the key to get it under $1. You're happy with $5 because you don't realize what you could be doing.
Right.
And it makes all the difference when you know what you're doing, you're tracking the right things, you're putting it in front of the right people, and you're getting these people to actually show up to the wash, not just click on your link or see your link or comment on your link, but actually redeem that wash at your wash. So.
Yep.